Welcome back to Movie Synopsis.
I'm going to recap a 2007 romance comedy movie named Virgin Territory. So, let's begin. The movie starts with showing a man who was painting in the church. He tells us that he has been painting for a long time, but till now he has not got any money, so he goes to the church father to ask for money. But when he reaches there, he finds out that father has died due to a disease called plague. And knowing this, he gets very disappointed, because now he will not get his money. Then he sees father's dress there. Wearing it, he decides to become a father, because the father has no shortage of anything, be it money or respect. Then we see Lorenzo, who was running away in fear of Gerbino, and he eventually manages to escape. Gerbino then tells his companions to capture Lorenzo under any circumstances, after which Lorenzo's friends give him a horse and ask him to leave the city, and Lorenzo does the same. After this we see a girl named Pampania crying, because recently his parents passed away due to the plague disease. Just then Gerbino comes there and sympathizes with her and asks what she will do now. Pampania tells her on this that the king of Russia is going to come here soon, and she's gonna marry him. Hearing Gerbino tells Pampania that your father had taken too much debt from me, and now after his death all your property has become mine, so if you want to save this house then you have to marry me. On the other hand, we see Lorenzo running. Gerbino's guards were behind him. Meanwhile, he sees a man who was dumb and deaf. The man tells Lorenzo that he used to work as a gardener nearby, but now he stopped working there. So thinks Lorenzo that if he becomes dumb and deaf he will go there to become gardener. Then he can get the job, so that he will also be saved from Gerbino's guards. And then he climbs a tree, and Gerbino's guards overtake. But soon the branch of the tree breaks, and Lorenzo falls down and faints. Then some nuns come to him, and takes her to church, and this was exactly where they needed gardener. Then the two nuns start teasing Lorenzo by making her unconscious. At this time Lorenzo also regained consciousness, but he still does nothing. After this the head of the nun comes there, so the nuns tells them that this man is dumb and deaf, and then they hire him as gardener. Next, while Lorenzo was taking a bath, then two nuns come there and join him. We can understand by seeing this, that's why the nuns wanted a dumb deaf gardener here, so that if those people would do anything with him, so being dumb, he will not be able to tell anyone about it. Next we see Pampania in a church with her friends and their boyfriends. This is where Pampania tells them he has a second home in that city, where she will marry the king of Russia. Pampania asks everyone to come over there. Just then Gerbino comes there and asks Pampania. Pampania lies about what you're talking about, that they were just praying. Now because the king of Russia had some time to come here, and Pampania didn't want to be with Gerbino either, so she makes a plan to stay in the church, but it was the same church in which Lorenzo worked. After this the rest of Pampania's friends also leave to visit her house. Next in the church, when two nuns were preparing Pampania, that's when she sees Lorenzo. The nuns smiled and said about it that he works here as a gardener, and the dumb is deaf. After a while, when a nun was taking Lorenzo inside the woods alone, Pampania notices them and understands that what is going on here. At the same time, we also see here that Pampania is feeling very jealous after seeing all this. Here King Dzerzhinsky also reaches the palace, but there Gerbino tells him that now Pampania is going to marry him. Knowing this, Dzerzhinsky angrily leaves from there, but then a man tells him outside that Pampania is waiting for him in another house in the city, and then Dzerzhinsky leaves to go there with his comrades. On the other hand, when Lorenzo was in his room, then two nuns bring food for him. Actually they knew that's what the rest of the nuns do to Lorenzo, and that nuns wanted to do the same to her, but even Lorenzo agrees to it. The next day when Pampania was carrying two nuns with hot water for Lorenzo, then she tells the nuns that whatever you guys are doing to Lorenzo is a sin. On this the nun says that there's nothing wrong with that, and you are just feeling jealous. So Pampania gets very angry, and she pours hot water directly on Lorenzo's head, seeing which we can understand that Pampania has started liking Lorenzo. This side when Dzerzhinsky's was going to meet Pampania, just then Gerbino attacks Dzerzhinsky with his guards. In the attack, all of Dzerzhinsky's companions are killed, but Dzerzhinsky manages to escape from there. And here Pampania's feeling was increasing for Lorenzo, and Pampania hears Lorenzo singing a song one day. Then from this she understands that she is dumb and not deaf. Then one day she goes alone to feed Lorenzo. At that time he had covered his face, so Lorenzo doesn't know which nun it is. Then Pampania is blindfolded by Lorenzo, and kisses her and leaves from there. But this thing suits Lorenzo very much. Now after a few days it's time for Pampania to leave, but she tells the head nun before leaving that Lorenzo is dumb deaf, and he's been pretending from the start. Actually, Pampania did not want to see Lorenzo with any other nun. That's why he did it. Now that head nun comes to know about it, so she immediately fires Lorenzo. Then Lorenzo was sitting outside. Just then Pampania passes by. Lorenzo requests Pampania that she also takes him with her, and Pampania agrees to it. On the other side we see Dzerzhinsky, and he sees a girl underwater. Then he starts talking to her as Dzerzhinsky tells her that he is going to marry a girl named Pampania. Hearing this, the girl lies that she is Pampania. Now since Dzerzhinsky had never seen Pampania, he trusts her words. And here Dzerzhinsky also likes that girl very much. On the other hand, Lorenzo and Pampania arrive at his house, and while they were talking, then Lorenzo tells that he loves that girl very much, the one who had blindfolded his eyes that day, and he will marry her. Pampania says on this, "How would you recognize him when you haven't even seen his face?" says Lorenzo. "That I will find him by any means and marry him." So says Pampania, "That if you kiss someone else you will forget him, but if you are not sure of this, so you can kiss me and see." Actually Pampania wanted that Lorenzo would find out that he had blindfolded her that day. Then Lorenzo was getting closer to Pampania. That's when Gerbino arrives there with his guards. Seeing him, Lorenzo talks about fighting with him, and when the fight begins, Lorenzo can't stand Gerbino, but Pampania stops him before Gerbino can kill him, and says that if something happens to Lorenzo, she will not marry him. Hearing this, Gerbino does not kill Lorenzo. After a while Pampania feels it, that Gerbino could kill Lorenzo at any time. So she tells Gerbino to get married now. At the same time she also tells him this, that after marriage she would have to leave Lorenzo. Gerbino considers this bet, and sends 2 of his guards to fetch father. Then after father came when he was talking to Pampania. So Pampania gives money to father and tells that she should not marry this. So he delays the wedding as much as he can, and the father also agrees to do so by taking money. Here 2 of Gerbino's guards go to release Lorenzo into the woods. Here he had a plan to kill Lorenzo. But before that Lorenzo kills them. He then sees Dzerzhinsky on his way to Pampania's house, so he too sets out to go in the same direction. On the other hand, Pampania and Gerbino start getting married. During this, he starts delaying the marriage at the behest of Pampania, due to which Gerbino gets very angry, so he scares the father with the sword and asks him to get married soon. And the father also starts doing the same out of fear. Dan Dzerzhinsky also comes over there, and seeing the gun in his hand, Gerbino starts running from there. At the same time, Lorenzo also comes there, and then Dzerzhinsky and Lorenzo together kill all of Gerbino's guards. Eventually Dzerzhinsky fights alone with Gerbino, in which Gerbino is unable to stand in front of him and his sword falls down. Just then, Lorenzo asks to come and fight with Gerbino. Dzerzhinsky tells Lorenzo on this, that if you can't kill him, I will kill him. And then Gerbino starts fighting with Lorenzo by standing at the well. But during this fight Gerbino falls into the well, due to which he dies there. After all this, Pampania comes there and tells Dzerzhinsky that she cannot marry him because she is in love with Lorenzo. Then when Dzerzhinsky Pampania's face appears, then he tells her that you are not the Pampania that I met in the lake, and I want to marry the same Pampania. In the meantime, the girl from the lake comes there from behind, but here we learn that the girl is none other than Pampania's friend Melissa. Dzerzhinsky is very happy to see Melissa, because he loved her. Then Pampania turns to Lorenzo, and has proposed for marriage, but says Lorenzo, that I want to marry the same girl, due to which my eyes were blindfolded that day. Hearing this, Pampania asks Lorenzo to kiss her, and he understands what Lorenzo kisses him. That girl is Pampania, the one who had blindfolded him that day, and he agrees to the marriage. And the movie ends here. I hope you enjoyed the video, so click any video of 3 of them and enjoy next. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel, and please like the video and tell us in the comment how you like the video. I see you soon.